please come in, share.
Or
yes. Hello, everyone. Hello. We are back. We've had a third edition.
No, this is like the fourth. We've done
100 of these.
I think we've done like 3 or 4. I don't know. But we're happy to be back. If you would, as you're coming in, please share the video. And also invite your friends, followers, anybody that you know, text message, get in those DMs, whatever you need to do, share with all of your friends. I know that Bonnie shared earlier. She's such a faithful follower, and I'm so excited about just what God is going to do.
My bad.
So if you would, we'll wait as everyone comes in.
Sorry.
And okay, so we'll just give you guys a few minutes to come in, and we're just kind of checking and seeing that everything's going well on the screens and that we don't have any technical difficulties or anything like that. Okay?
All right. Give you all a few minutes as you come in. Invite your followers, please. Share.
Also, tell us where you're from, where you're watching from, and tell us your names, and just introduce yourselves to those that are also in the chat. I stick to
on my nails. She gonna say, ladies. Hi. We're waiting 1 or 2 more minutes, and then we're gonna get started.
Yeah, go ahead and get started.
Hey, Niche. It's like 1 o'clock there.
Hey, Niche.
Hey, Moonlight. Okay.
Oh, let me grab my excuse me, y'all.
Hey, Tashonda.
Hey, Tashonda. How you doing, girl?
Hey, Moonlight.
Hi, Bonnie. Good to see you.
Ernestine, I hope you heard your shout out. Hi.
Ernestine.
Mama Petty.
Mama Petty. How are you? I saw y'all out today with y'all lavender lipstick.
Get it.
All right.
We are going to start.
Okay, we'll go ahead and get started. Don't want to leave you guys waiting too long. So yeah, we're gonna have Misha just do some quick introductions, and then we'll get right into it.
Right. So my name is Misha Jean, and I am single. Right. I'm not saying that because I'm looking for people. I'm just saying.
Right. That's what it sounded like.
Yeah. No, I'm good. I'm all the way good. I'm just saying I'm single because this is
the singles,
right,
and then these are the marrieds.
Not because I'm trying to.
She's trying to get in there.
No, I'm good. Hey, James, Greg, Nani.
Hey, Elder Polk. How are you doing? Share.
So I think that's a lot about me. Misha. That's all y'all gonna say.
Well, yeah. Okay. I just kidding. My name is Mimi. I'm also single. And I'm very willing to mingle. You gotta know Jesus though. And what else? I'm the founder of iWaited blog. So that's about me so far, I think. Yeah.
And I'm Victoria, and I am married to the wonderful Johnny Hicks. So I am now Mrs. Victoria Hayes.
Come on,
Victoria.
Yeah.
Come on.
And I am Moya Daniels, married to Travis Daniels of Travis Daniels Photography.
Come on.
Go check him out.
Yes. Plug.
Not shameless plug.
So we're gonna go ahead and get started. So what we're doing tonight, so first of all, iWaited is a blog that was started in 2000. We're in 2017, so 2013. Jeez, it's been 4 years.
Wow.
Like 4 years this summer.
High five.
This is the beginning. This is
Just the beginning. So I started this blog 4 years ago with the intent of wanting to encourage other young adults like myself, because I wanted to wait on God to be intimate in my marriage and wanted to abstain from sex until marriage, but I hadn't seen any stories of people who've done it successfully. So it was kind of like a selfish move to start this blog and interview married couples and just get kind of some insight into how they did it and how they managed to, not fall into, because there's temptation in waiting, and not fall into that temptation and actually wait until marriage to, be intimate with their partners. So I started this blog about 4 years ago, actually 4 years ago this summer, and the blog has been viewed in over 70 countries, and it's just, God has done so many great things through the blog, and it's blossomed into vlogs and live interviews, and, we've interviewed Breland Bowman on the blog as well. So it's just blossomed into something that God has done so many amazing things through this blog and this ministry. And so I want it to be a place where I can continue to encourage men and women, because I believe that we can't just empower women to be abstaining and then there's no men abstaining as well. So I really just want it to be a place that men can, seek encouragement as well. So yeah, that's a little bit about the blog and just some of the, ways that it started. And tonight we're going to be discussing religion and sex. And I think it's so interesting that the whole John Gray thing happened like a few weeks ago, with him expressing how, him and his wife are spontaneous and sexy and, sexual. And church people were up in an uproar, like upset that this man was expressing his love and his desire for his wife, which was so sad and strange. I'm just like, what kind of sad, sexless marriage are you people in? Like, I don't understand. Because the man was just expressing that he's enjoying sex with his wife, W-I-F-E, not wifey, not girlfriend, not boo, not his wife, the mother of his children. Right. And so it was really just so weird. And we have been talking about this subject since when we met in May. And it's just so appropriate that we're talking about this now. Yes. And so some of the things when I was just kind of researching religion and sex was the fact that we think that sex has just started to be perverted. But when I started to read up on sex and see how, in ancient history where there were prostitutes that hung out outside of the temple, and sex to the people of that culture was something that wasn't about companionship or love or intimacy. It was just about what you can get. Like, men had their wives that they procreate with, and then they had prostitutes or concubines or women on the side. And so it wasn't something that was valued. And then God came in with his commandments of, hey, you are my people. I've set you apart. Don't intermingle with these people because I want you to do things differently. I want you to have one man, one woman, and you join together in a covenant that honors and glorifies me. And not only just in the covenant, but throughout the generations that were coming from that covenant. And so he came in on the scene and really made it different. But of course, we know as Christians, we fall and we sometimes fall outside of the boundaries of what God set up. And the people of Israel began to participate in those different types of things, and the temple prostitutes, and the Sodom and Gomorrah and sodomites, and those different types of things. And so we now think that sex is so over the top and just so, it's always been that way. The Bible tells us there's nothing new under the sun. Only thing is now we have TV that pushes commercials on us every 3 seconds that have sex in it, TV shows and, you know, all kinds of things, and songs where they're just blatant with all of the stuff that they're doing. I think that now it's just more in the open. It's not something that wasn't here. We just didn't see it in our face every single day. Mm-hmm. And so I think this is such a conversation that we do need to have as Christians, and that we need to be able to talk about sex honestly, openly, and in a way that's raw, and in a way that's going to allow people to be true to who they are, right. And true to who they are in a way that honors God. So yeah, so that's what I wanted us to, you know, kind of just get started. So I'm going to get started with what my mother told me about sex. My mother was a single mother. I was raised in a single mother household of a Haitian mother. And for me, my mother was, although she didn't go into details about like sex, she would say, don't have sex until you're married. My mother was someone that had 6 children, but they were all out of wedlock. So my mother always told me she wanted me to get married before I started having sex, and she always said, have all of your children with one man so that all of your children can have the same last name and that you're with one man. And then at that time, I didn't really understand, because I was just like, I do want to get married, I do, but I didn't understand why she was saying that. So even though she didn't do things the right way, I really believe that she really wanted me to do the things the right way. So yeah, that's what my mother told me about sex. What about you, Victoria?
My mom was a little different than most moms. Hi, Mom. Because I know she's going to watch this later. But my mom was a PK, and I'm a PK. So my mom had an experience where her parents didn't tell her anything about it. And so she had to learn about it the hard way, the embarrassing way. Her mom didn't sit her down and talk to her, which is my grandmother, didn't talk about like getting your period. Sorry, guys, but those things that you talk about with your daughter. And so my mom was embarrassed. And so I think when she had children, she wanted to make sure that we were not embarrassed, that we didn't feel like we weren't prepared. And so my mom told us a lot about it. Mm-hmm. She was very open about sex. She just shared things about sex. She was open about it to the point where my friends felt comfortable talking to her about it. My mom is just open about it. Now, my mom was very clear that, you know, don't have sex, wait until you're married. My mom waited until she was married to have sex. So that was really pressed upon in our household. But the conversation, once she knew that her daughters did not wait, because I called her and said I'm pregnant, so clearly I had not waited. Once she knew that her daughters did not wait, then she was very open to how to protect yourself, how to make sure that you are not giving all your goods to everyone. She loved to use the word, don't be a hoe. So, love you, Mom, but it really, you know, where I know some people didn't have those conversations, we had those conversations. So, wow.
Nice. Shoot. What about you?
My mom didn't discuss it. It was a don't do it, period.
That's it.
Oh, no, that's it.
That's usually Haitian households,
though. There's nothing to talk about.
Don't have sex.
Yeah, and I think I'm 34 now. My mom still have never brought up the conversation of sex.
Really?
Yeah. So had it not been for Jesus himself, I think I'd be out here doing what I want to do.
Wow.
In these streets.
In these streets. Yeah, Haitians, I just don't think that they have those conversations.
At all.
They're not going to sit you down and say, this is what you should be doing. I don't even know that it's so interesting. I think when I told my mother I was abstaining, and she was like, well, what's that? I mean, the boyfriend that I had for a long time, my mom was like, how you not giving him none? So for her, what I was doing was the opposite of what she's known.
Right.
And even now, with the life I'm living, she just is like, so you're really not, you're not doing anything? No, I mean, like, I'm really about to wait until I get married. So yeah.
Let me ask this, and even when it comes to womanly things, do they have those types of conversations?
No, my mom had those conversations.
You're growing breast and...
No, she had those conversations.
But not just...
Not sex.
Okay.
Well, not full on like sex, penis, vagina,
none of
orgasms. Like I didn't know about nothing. Like about periods, yes. You should be clean. You got to take 10 baths a day. No one should know that you have your period. You should always smell good.
But see, those conversations to me, well, in my household, opened the door to have the sex conversation. Because my mom whole thing was, you got your cycle, you know that you can get pregnant. So see, my mom said that, but that was it. She was like, you can get pregnant now, so don't have sex. Like that was the only. Oh no, that was Cynthia's conversation. Like, come on. So if you do this will happen, and if a guy does, that was. I think that's the easier way to have, because I think it's uncomfortable. My daughter's 10, and I know this conversation is going to happen soon.
Do y'all still having?
We have some conversations, but again, I know, and you have 2 girls, so you're gonna have to go through it twice. But I think when you start talking about just being a woman, then it's an easier
to
say, let's just talk about everything, because at this point
it's open.
It's open, you know.
We out there.
Okay, Moya. Jamaican.
Okay, guys.
So we're giving you culture here. American, Haitian, Jamaican. Okay.
My mom is the most reserved lady.
So conservative.
In the world.
Yes.
In the world. Okay? She sits next to Queen Elizabeth. Okay? My mom has never said the word sex to me.
Never?
I don't think I've heard the word sex.
Wow.
Oh.
Yeah.
So like there's no conversation.
Zero.
So
if she had it,
but
it might have been when I was sleeping, because I don't remember.
But then, so when you got pregnant, she's just like, oh, the baby, that's it?
Yeah.
It's an unspoken thing.
Yeah.
Like
in Caribbean code. Maybe
it was very.
Well, I know some
that
American families that you don't talk about it.
I mean, but with
Black,
me,
I think it's really a culture.
I think
Black
there was an
thing.
expectation level there with my mom, because my mom was always the close your legs.
Right.
Yes,
You're too
mine
loud.
too.
Eat properly.
Mine too.
You know, elbows off the table.
Yes.
Eat with your knife and fork, and speak properly, and don't speak slang. She won't even let me speak patois. Okay. She wants no. She is a very proper Jamaican. She wants her kids to speak proper English. I mean, it's accepted. It is our slang. Patois is our slang.
Right.
But she preferred, for us, it's almost the same thing. If you have a very proper American mom, she's you saying ain't in my house, that type of thing. Right, so your parent knows that this is a dialect, but she would prefer for her children to speak proper English, and she was just very proper. So I just think that as I grew, it was just something that was a given. Like, I don't think my mom would want me to do that. She don't even want me to yell and play outside with the boys.
That's
right.
Really
so we never really had to have that conversation. So pretty much, I'm gonna wing it. I'm wearing a leg.
You're gonna wing
it.
Watch
You're gonna
this.
wing it.
I mean, wing it.
So now, because you all did not have that conversation, do you feel, because my mom didn't have it, so I think that's why she felt so
open,
pressed to make sure we had that conversation. Do you all feel?
And do you feel like it helped?
Absolutely. I felt like now as an adult woman, I can go to my mom and talk to her, not just about sex, but I think when I got pregnant, I called her first. It wasn't like, oh my God. Now my dad, on the other hand, Sean, please. That's a whole nother thing. But I think because my mom was so open, and we could talk about different things, and boys we liked and boys we didn't like, and now I'm not saying she set up and we were girlfriends. We knew it was a respect level there. But I just felt more open to be like, oops, I messed up. This is what situation we're in. So my question to you ladies is, you didn't have that conversation. Do you now feel like when you do have children, you need to definitely have the conversation?
Oh yeah,
absolutely.
And the thing is, because I'm in a place now where I understand that just telling kids not to have sex and not giving them a reason is not enough.
It's not
enough. And
I think it piques their curiosity.
I
really want to find out why
absolutely
not
right.
Absolutely.
Exactly. And then you have, because they all know I've worked in the healthcare field with public health, seeing teenagers who literally have no clue about sex, but they're having sex. So they think like, you can get HIV and get a pill and make it go away. Like, they don't understand anything. Like, literally know nothing. And I just think you're doing your kids a disservice when you don't explain anything to them. And so they're out there, they're doing things that, first of all, they don't have any business doing, but because they don't have the information, they're ignorant to what the consequences are. So I know for me, I may not be, full in, vulgar type stuff, but I'm going to be very open and honest with my kids, because I've talked to 15-year-olds where I had to have those kind of conversations with them, and making sure that they understand, like, you do this is what's going to happen. You're going to die. That's it.
Right. I think that goes back to understanding the why of everything that you do.
Right.
If you don't understand why you're abstaining, you're going to fall.
Right.
If you don't understand why I'm not having sex, you're going to do it. So when you understand and know the why, it helps with when you get into that situation. Oh, I get why I'm not having sex. I get why I'm waiting until marriage to have sex.
Right. And I think that's where I would say, even though my mom was open, she didn't explain really the why of why we should wait. The why is really important. That's a good point. So my question, because we're going to be asking questions, so my question is, how has religion shaped my view and the ladies' views on sex? Religion. So y'all know by now, I'm a PK. I've done church my whole life. I have a lifetime membership in church. So religion has always been a part of my life. So what happened was, I knew God, knew what was expected of being a Christian and so forth. And then I had a mom who was just like, let me explain to you what's going on. So that was great. She was very practical in how she spoke to us. And then I went from religion to actually having a relationship with God. And so in the gaining a relationship with God while holding my month-old daughter, then I was like, oh, I really did this backwards. And I should have gone and waited and all that. But so religion, like Mishu said, didn't explain the why I shouldn't do it. Religion was, don't do it. If you're a teenage mother, you're cast out of the church or talked about really bad or shunned upon. You're not a woman. It's shameful and all this other stuff. But nobody explained why. Nobody explained that God put those provisions in place to protect us from shame, protect us from, because I went through lots of shame having a daughter out of wedlock. Even though I was grown, 21 years old, still came with a lot of shame. So I didn't know the why. Religion did not do a good job at explaining the why we shouldn't do it. And religion, if you don't know, is the practices of believing in something. Okay, it's the practice of it. So people are religious when they practice Buddhism, and people are religious when they practice being a Muslim. Right. So my practices were being a Christian, but at the time we didn't have these conversations in church. When I was going to VPS and Vacation Bible School and going to Sunday school, we weren't having these discussions with the teenagers about sex in this manner and why God was saying not to do it. So therefore, I had practical teaching, but I really didn't understand the why of it. And it wasn't until I got into a relationship with Christ and studied the Word of God for myself that I truly started to have this big battle. And so religion does play a part in how I viewed sex, because I really struggled with, once I got into relationship with Christ, not to do it. And then that's really all I knew was don't do it, don't do it, don't do it. And it wasn't until I got into partnerships with people who were actually abstaining and waiting and had a relationship with God that I truly understood why it was so important for me to wait.
And I'm kind of...
I hope that makes sense.
Yeah.
I know I said a lot, but...
Yeah. And I think I'm with Victoria in terms of religion, because my mother was, we were in church. My mother, I remember distinctly getting baptized and going into church when I was about 6 or 7. because I remember our lives like shifted. Like my mother was really black and white like me. Like before then, people would be at our house, dominoes, playing music all the time every weekend. And when she got into church, it was like all that stopped. We're drinking, partying, all that stuff. And so I understood that there was a shift in our lives. And my mother was in a place where it was like, these are certain things we just didn't do anymore. And so like Victoria was just a don't do it. There was no why. And even though I knew other friends who were having sex, I knew one girl who had a baby when we were in 9th grade, the end of our 9th grade year. And so I knew sex was enjoyable, and this was something that people were getting into, but for me, I just knew that I shouldn't do it, and I was the kid that was just a scary, obedient kid.
Yeah.
Like, I wasn't obedient because I wanted to be obedient, I was just scary.
Just scared.
I didn't like to get beatings.
Right.
My mom only beat me one time, and that was enough for me. So, meanwhile, my siblings...
You only got one beating?
Uh-huh.
Wow.
My siblings got
see that. I totally see that.
Yeah.
I've never gotten a beating.
Really?
No, I was a good child.
Oh, no.
I really was.
Me?
That's my mama. I really was. I never got into
No, I got beatings because I talked too much in class. But I didn't get beatings. Y'all know I talk too much.
We know.
Yeah, I talk too much. So, but I never got a beating because I did something at home.
Right.
If that makes sense.
Right.
Whereas my other siblings.
Yeah, I was a talker in school too. Like I remember having a report card, I still have it now, that said Marilyn's a really good student.
Yeah.
She just talks too much.
Yeah.
Like that was, I did talk a lot. But, meanwhile, my siblings would get beatings every day for doing stuff. And I was the kid that was just like, nope, I'm just going to be good. I'm not going to get beatings. So I just followed the rules because I just knew that was what you had to do. But I didn't do it because I knew why I was doing it.
Right.
Yeah.
I just knew that I was told not to do it, so I didn't do it. And so for me, it became, that kind of fell into my my Christian walk.
Yeah.
I was doing things because I knew I wasn't doing things because I knew I wasn't supposed to do it, but I didn't understand why I wasn't doing it. So then when I didn't understand why, I think that's why I started having sex. Because I didn't understand why I was waiting. So I was almost 20, and I lost my virginity and started having sex in college. But throughout high school, I was like, nope, I'm waiting until I get married, blah, blah, blah. But then it's like, if you don't know why you're doing it, what's the point?
The why.
The why. It all falls back to the why are you doing it. So for me, not having the information made me ignorant, and therefore I didn't understand. And then it just made me do it because I didn't understand. I was ignorant. So
true.
Yeah. So that was me and religion. What religion did for me, how it shaped my views. So, Misha?
I think for me, I grew up in a household where my mother was dropping us off to church. So it was just like, all right, y'all go and do the right thing. But who was I going to come back home and talk to about what I learned?
Right.
For me, I believe my walk has been supernatural, where it's been God that has been convicting me on things that I know I shouldn't do. Even when I had a boyfriend and I started having sex with him, there was something in me that there was just this thing in me that was just like, this ain't right, but I didn't know why it wasn't right. And I believe that God will do that even for those that don't go to church. There's just that thing in you that says, this ain't right, but you don't know why it isn't right. I mean, I was literally grieving the Holy Spirit, and I was just like, man, I don't know what this is or why I feel so bad after I've had such a good time. Right. I just had such a good time. Right. And I'm in the bed like, oh God, something about this ain't right. And it took a little while. It took a little while for me to get to a place where I was just like, I just don't believe that I'm supposed to be just doing what I want to do. And God began to reveal things. He began to put people in my life, and I feel like God is just so strategic in the things that He began to place people in my life that were waiting, and I was just like, oh, okay, this is probably why I feel the way that I feel. So I think it's just been supernatural for me, where I've been in church. God has convicted me in the area of sex and knowing that isn't what you should be doing. Then I went to studying and understanding why isn't it good. So yeah.
Well, for me, my mom and my dad never really pushed religion on me. My mom, of course, I've always known she's a Christian, but even when she was in Jamaica, she would go to Seventh-day Adventist, she would go to Pentecostal. I mean, so when we got here to America, she just wanted us to be free to choose. We're Christian, but she wanted us to be free to choose. And then when we found a church and we were going, it was kind of something that was just like you. It was more supernatural. It was more something that